So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, the master debater. And I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, and he claims to be my kryptonite. Well, we going to see about that. The purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. And so I like to say that we are not live. This is our recorded show, just so we can kind of bounce ideas and arguments off of each other. Thank God we're not in the same studio because it could get really messy. So anyway, we're going to be, of course, talking about the infamous basketball game, the NCAA game between the women's basketball, Iowa and LSU, and all the antics and things that went on with that. We're also going to be pondering a video that I saw on TikTok, a man giving women advice as to, how a man may or may not see her. And then we're going to ask a question, if I only knew. Okay, and I'll tell y'all what that's about when we get to it. But of course, we were kind of just waiting to see what was going on with Trump. He is in the middle of his arraignment, from what I understand. Looks like he's facing 34 charges or counts. It's like, golly, over buying some poo-nanny. But all right. Donovan?
Oh, well, welcome to the Demetra K Show. Guys, do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Even become a member. A lot of great knowledge and things happen. And if you become a member, you get first notification when Demetra drops a brand new video. Also, if you guys do have, you look at our scrolling app at the bottom there, you have Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. We take all sorts of contributions to put a show together because it does take time and effort to put a show together. And if you're like me, money is time and time is money. So you got to put it to that. But we got a great topic to talk into. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, and do us a favor. That will really help get the algorithm going. Hit that like button and share it on your platform so other people can also ponder and contemplate what we are talking about today. Let's do it.
All right. So firstly, as you guys know, on Sunday, maybe you don't, because if you like me, you don't really watch very many sports. But anyway, Sunday night was a championship game between Iowa State, I guess University, if that's the name of it, and LSU, Louisiana State University, women's basketball, NCAA. And it sounds like Iowa was whooping behind, all their opponents and stuff. And then they got to LSU, and it sounds like it was a major upset. And so one of the major things that came out of the whole basketball thing was, well, I'll show y'all, and then we can have a conversation about it from there. So here it is. So if y'all saw there, that was, what's the name? Caitlin and Angel. So Angel's the black player, LSU, and Caitlin is the white player. So as y'all saw, they was doing this. That's a you can't see me type of move. Now, it was created actually by Tony Yayo, right? He's a rapper. And John Cena actually took the move as his own, and he always credits Tony Yayo with the move. He says, I saw it on the video, and then he says him and his brother, John Cena and his brother, were talking about a signature move. And so it was kind of like a dare, and he ended up doing it, and it became his signature move. So that's what you saw there. Like, you can't see me, or you're not on my level type of stuff is what that is. And so you saw Angel doing it, Angel being the black player, and you saw her going like that. Basically, when they, I guess, knew they were going to secure the win, they were going to go away with the championship, or I guess get a ring is what that was about. And so, of course, a lot of white supremacists took to the social medias, calling her a piece of, ass and classless, a hood rat, ghetto, all that kind of stuff. But they also, and I don't have it, but showed a compilation of the white girl, Caitlin, doing the same thing to people, right? You can't see me. But anybody who's watched any type of sports, it's competitive. It's not a big deal. It's just what people do. But the people watching it, including, some sports analysts, the owner of Barstool Sports, He is the one I actually think called her classless piece of ass. And then Keith Olbermann, he used to be a sportscaster for ESPN. And of course, you guys know he went on to be like a Democratic pundit, had his own TV show for a while. He also, I think, called her a piece of, crap, for lack of better words. And so people really got in their emotions. But then when all of these other videos of the white girl doing it came out, it was like, oh. But what it really did was it exposed people really just being racist because, the black girl did it. Oh, she's, ghetto and all this other stuff, poor sportsmanship. But when a white girl does it, it's like, and I saw a lot of comparisons where they were saying, oh, it's good sportsmanship and she's really energetic and those type of things. But then when the black girl's doing it, she's hood rat and just a whole bunch of, ghetto. Of course, people talked about her eyelashes and her hair, that kind of stuff, calling her ghetto. But the other thing that really came out of that is, the winner of these sports competitions, usually they get an invite to the White House. So Jill Biden, she invited, this is, I'll put up what she said so y'all can see it yourself. This was actually her statement. And it said, here we go. So she says, I know we'll have the champions come to the White House. We always do. So we hope LSU will come, she said. But I'm going to tell Joe, I think Iowa should come too because they played such a good game. Now, of course, Iowa was the losing team, right? So why do they get to go to the White House? Visiting the White House is considered to be like the prize of all prize, right? Because normally you get to meet the president and his wife, and you get to, if you were invited by Trump, you get to have Big Macs. He ordered Big Macs, I forget what team it was, but nevertheless, that's supposed to be a good thing. But here, Jill Biden being Joe Biden's wife, saying, well, let's invite them both. But it's like, and a lot of people have been asking the question, if it was the other way around, because I should also say that Iowa was a predominantly white team and LSU was a predominantly black team. So if it'd been the other way around, with the black team been getting an invite, even though they lost. Now, a lot of people are saying, heck to the no, they would not have gotten an invite. So it's like, what's really going on here? Why are you inviting both of them when only one of them won and they were the black, the predominantly black team? So Donovan, what say you?
Ditto. Let's move on to the next subject. No, no. Again, I played sports for a long time. Men play sports, and I was a big supporter of women's sports until it got, it got to where it's at today, where it's really not very comfortable for me to watch it anymore. But there was an old saying when I used to play sports, and it's still relevant today. Nobody remembers who came in second. Could you please tell me right now, off the top of your head, who lost the Super Bowl this year? Only a couple months ago. You really got to sit and think about it. So nobody remembers number two. And, this Jill Biden is a teacher. She was in education. She's really high in education. And these are these liberals who are out here destroying sports and kids' minds and warping people, thinking that everybody should be a winner. That isn't how life works. Sports is supposed to teach us about life applications. And in life applications, not everybody can be a winner. It's okay not to win. You just try harder the next year. But when I was growing up, there was no such thing as a participation trophy. You might have got a certificate for participation, which was mailed to your house or you picked up at the awards dinner or something like that, but you didn't get a trophy. So we had all these liberal moms out here and dads talking about, oh, everybody's a winner. Everybody should get a trophy. This is the problem of the expectations of kids nowadays. Now they think everybody's a queen. If everybody's a queen and everybody's a king, then who do you rule over? Where's the standard? What do you measure that by if we're all kings and queens? So this participation trophy stuff is BS. Inviting a losing team to the White House. Again, this is the Bidens and the Democratic Party showing Black people in your face how racist they are. They said, you know what? that black team whipped the hell out of us, but you know what? We're white and we're going to invite them anyway. What are you going to do about it? And that's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
I think we should also talk about how the black woman is the biggest supporter of the Democratic Party, and there Jill Biden is basically telling black women, you don't matter as much, and you should not expect to come to the White House on your own. You should have to share the victory with white women. And so it is a slap in the face, I think, to black women. You know, why do they have to share? Like, black women have to share a whole lot, and the black woman, you know what I'm saying? But she can't go to the White House. And I say the black basketball team, they can't go to the White House and being the biggest supporter of the Democratic Party. I thought that was a big slap in the face. And it's like, oh, well, these white women lost. But you know what? They're still winners. And I always say that, which is why, you know, we talk about your pearly things and all these other people. It's like the white woman got so many people going to bat for them. They got so many people defending them and making sure they're okay. I mean, even this is as an example. Well, they played a good game and they, you know, champions to us. And so let's bring them along to basically share the spotlight with the real winners, right? Doesn't matter that they went, Iowa went and they whooped everybody else's behind, you know, throughout the season in the series. The game that mattered, you weren't, you know, the victor. All right, go home, come back next year, or whatever the case is. But you know, we want to see, because it was, you know, and I guess Jill Biden was at some of these games, but to me, it's just like, wow, why don't you just sock black women in the stomach? Why don't you? You know, them showing up, strolling to the polls and voting for the black woman voter votes for the Democrats more than anybody else, period, right? So then my next question is, are black women going to give Jill Biden a pass and say, because, you know, we normally do, okay? You're going to give her that, because this is something that directly affects black women. Is she going to get a pass for saying, oh, well, she didn't mean her, she's just being nice? Like that, she shouldn't even say nothing like that at all.
The bottom line in that is everybody knows only the winners go to the White House. And again, I didn't follow it. I don't follow women's sports like I used to, because it's just, the product is not that good in my opinion. But I used to be a season ticket holder to this LA Sparks. So don't say that I didn't. It's just that the product got so bad.
A couple of times with you.
Yeah, the product got so bad, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. But again, that's not taking any shade away from anybody. It's just personal preference. But, you know, part of sports is taunting. In football, they have a rule called a taunting rule, because sometimes it was getting out of hand and stuff like that. Then they brought it back to a point where you really can't be disrespectful into another player's face. That's where the fights were breaking out, whatever. So all of this hand stuff, when the white girl was doing it, personally, I didn't think there was nothing wrong with it when I saw it. I said, well, that's just part of sports. That's what they do. But isn't it funny, when you're losing, it's a problem when somebody does it to you? You know,
and even it seem like the white girl has a problem with it. She says that's just what we do. So it don't sound like she has a problem, but her people got a problem with it.
Right, exactly. Like I said, if you go to the WNBA today, you know, you've got some white female athletes that they put up there like they're going to be this great thing. And you compare to some of the other players in the WNBA, and it's like, well, that white girl, she's good, but she isn't that. You know what I mean? And it's like, but again, to expect, and I know people are going to get mad about this, and I'm a diehard 24-year military veteran. I know I live in a racist country. That is just the facts of the matter. So am I surprised that of all people, the Bidens want to bring in the other group, the losing group that has never been done before? I'm not surprised at all. But again, the sisterhood is going to protect and make excuses for why Missy Ann Biden is going to get what she wants to get. Because another thing is this. She's the first lady. She doesn't have any authority who comes to the White House or who can't, but it goes to show you. She goes to her husband and says, I want this, and watch him bow down.
Yeah, you know, and hopefully they see all the backlash, but I think the black woman voter should take note of that. Like, we don't even count as far as being able to specifically go to the White House by ourselves without tagging a whole bunch of the white women that lost, mind you, tagging behind. You know what I mean? And so that should be very telling. And at one point in time, Black women are going to have to wake up, especially since they call you us, and I didn't vote for Biden, but the backbone of the Democratic Party, which is true, but it's like you the backbone and getting treated like the ass bone because you ain't getting nothing. Backbone is supposed to be strengthening something, right? With this backbone, are you telling them, all right, this is what we want for our people? You ain't even doing that. You just cool with. And I also want to say, yeah, Black man voter was not too far behind the Black woman, but since they give Black women that title, it's like you're just satisfied with symbolism. You're just satisfied with we did that. Oh, yes, look what we did. I'm mess with Black women, Black girl magic. But it's like, why don't you click your heels together 3 times and deliver something that we can say was worth having? So we need to really take note of that kind of stuff and stop settling for symbolism. But even at the something as simple as winning a college championship, Black women couldn't even have that by themselves. And that very administration that taunts, puts Black women on a pedestal, she didn't doesn't even sound like Jill Biden had a problem hesitating even saying it. Joey, Joey B, if they could come too. Because what I heard in her mind is, it's not fair the white women, they play such a good season, and I think they should be recognized too. And like you said, it's the whole participation thing. Everybody is not going to win. If you're in the competition, somebody going to lose, somebody going to win. That don't mean you didn't try your best, but there's something to be said about being the winner. When you're the winner, that means you bested the other person who was just as good, probably. He did a little bit better. And now you're getting the recognition, you're getting the reward. But it's almost like, well, y'all negresses, y'all can't come to the White House unless you bring Miss Ann with you. Because she was there with you. So she needs to bask in some of this glory too.
I have a question for you real quick before we transition. Could you please tell me, what team do you think Miss Biden was going for?
Come on now. You know she was going for them white girls.
But you see what I'm saying? What is it going to take for Black people to wake up? The Democratic Party does not represent Black people in all phases. I mean, those of us in the Black media, we have been dead on, spot on for how many years now? And they have all the excuses that have been thrown at us. Oh, he needs more time. He just got in the office. Oh, well, we got HR 40, which was a study. We did, all of this stuff. We're going to get qualified immunity for you. We were telling that's not going to happen. This ain't going to happen. That's going to happen. This is what you need to do, whatever the deal is. What's it going to take for people to realize that the Democratic Party, which was started as a racist party after, through its whole inception to keep Black people down, was pro-slavery, rebelled against the United States. There are so many L's the Democratic Party has in its history, especially in regards to the country and in regards to Black people. They're the backbone of the Ku Klux Klan. The backbone of it. That came from the Democratic Party. What's it going to take for you guys to realize Joe Biden, a Dixiecrat? I mean, come on, what's it going to take? So you mean to tell me an 80-something-year-old senile man is going to change his spots and his stripes? Doesn't happen. It just doesn't. So, it is what it is. Those of us that know what's going on, we know what's going on. But again, you got these bootlick Black folks out here that, they just love massa. And, massa could do no wrong. And one day when I'm dead and gone, and I'm in those pearly gates of Jesus to the upper room, I'm going to get my, comeuppance. But guess what? You're dead. You're dead. It's over. You're dead. So hopefully, like I said, these little things like this, Black women, again, you are the backbone of the Democratic Party, and that ain't nothing to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, especially since there's the only other way y'all can come to the White House, is y'all working in the kitchen, or y'all hanging out with Kamala, who's probably helping y'all shuck peas, You know,
or you're in the side room doing intern work.
I hope not. But yeah, so Black women should take note of that. But something tells me we won't. Now, when I say we, I'm talking about the Black women that predominantly vote for the Democratic Party, because again, we like being told, you guys, without you, we couldn't do it. Oh, we wouldn't. We like hearing that kind of stuff. We like symbolism. We like people saying, yeah, look at that. Black women is Black women. Yes, but it's like your actions speak louder than anything that could be said about you. Yeah, we know the Black woman got the Democrats in the predominantly got Democrats in office, but the Democrats ain't doing nothing for you. So why is you even bragging about that? You know what I mean? Yeah, the sorors, all them, they gonna line up, stroll to the poll. That to me, honestly, was just so embarrassing. It's like y'all strolling to the polls for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden ain't doing no strolling for you.
The most educated group of people in the United States, and the most people that are in debt. It's like they never tell the whole story. All of those degrees don't antiquate to, most of you guys don't even work in the field of your degrees. You got all this debt, and the very man that you put in the office that said he was going to do whatever can't even sign an executive order to get rid of that debt for your loyalty to the Democratic Party. It's a damn shame.
He doesn't need to, because he knows some sister somewhere gonna get on her war horse and defend him. Like Simone Sanders, where's she at? I don't even know where Simone is at, but she was his biggest defender. I mean, to the point of line backing it up. She's taking tackles and all this other stuff. I was like, you don't even know where she's at anymore. But it's like you defended this man to the very end for what? What did Black women, like, I could even see it. They say, screw the Black man, right? Because y'all used to hearing that. I'm just playing. Screw the Black man, right? He doesn't matter in the larger scheme of things. He can go fall off the end of the earth as far as I'm concerned. Let's say they said all of that. But the Black women that helped you get there, nothing. Not even a cold butter biscuit. Not even a cold bowl of grits. So it's like, at some point in time, Black women gonna have to wake up and say they don't love you either. So anyway, we're gonna transition to this next topic again. I don't know what's going on with Trump. I'd imagine that he's probably still listening to all 34 charges, or counts rather. It's like, golly, and this is just a side note. What I want to know is, why 34 counts? Like, because I'm interested. Like, how did y'all squeak 34 counts out of him telling Stormy Daniels, listen, girl?
Well, what I think it is, and I'm a political guru. What I think it is they're linking that payment to a campaign donation to where it was inscribed in his business ledgers as something else. And what I think it is not only, remember, it wasn't just Stormy Daniels he had an affair with. He's had affairs with other people and other things. So I think with the Trump organization, they're linking some of the things over there in how he transcribed his books. And that's where a lot of the allegations come in, because in New York, I believe it's a crime when you write something that isn't what it was supposed to be, when you do the equalization of the books. So you're telling the tax man this versus that. I think they're linking all of that stuff together, and that's where the crimes are coming. When he devalues his property and says it's worth this when it was worth that. And that's where all this thing's going to, that's what I think it is. It's not guaranteed, but that's what I'm speculating.
Yeah, I'm just saying, mind you, it's all stemming from Stormy Daniels. So I'm just, even with that, how do you get 34 counts? I'm interested. How do you?
I think that just opened up the book to where they just stacked it. Because I find it hard to believe that you're going to bring a man that has sat in the White House to charge him for buying some coochie. That's not a strong enough case to. I think that's a misdemeanor. When you're buying coochie, it's not a federal case; it's a misdemeanor type thing.
Well, yeah, and will it even if it goes to trial, and which it looks like it will, is he even going to be convicted? That's the crazy part. It's like first of all, this man wasn't in office when it happened. Now, of course, I think what people need to realize, Trump was never trying to win the presidency. He was just doing something. And then when it like, oh,
yeah, that was all promotion. That was all promotion.
You mean I'm gonna win? So once he realized he was gonna win, then it's like, okay, we got a lot of housekeeping to do, because let's keep it real. Trump is Trump. Trump is, he's glitzy, glamorous, flashy, mob ties type of dude, or at least he thinks he does. And
no, he does. You don't bankrupt the casino unless they're skimming off the top.
Well, allegedly, but I guess the point that I'm making is the nature of a Trump, if you will. He's done a lot of stuff. So I'd imagine once he was getting, it looked like he was going to have a great shot. It's like, all right, we got some housekeeping to do. We need to clean up behind the scenes. Let's hide the bodies. Let's talk to the hoes. Let's make sure they good. But for whatever reason, Stormy Daniels was like, me too.
And she's a white woman giving up the game.
But not to mention, Michael Cohen, he did some time behind it. And Avenatti, her lawyer, he in the clink, but stealing.
For defrauding her as the lawyer or whatever. It's a big mess. But see, and that's another thing. It's going to be hard to get out of this when Michael Cohen got convicted and Trump was implicated in his conviction as, number one conspiracy type guy, whatever it was. So I'm not saying Trump's going to do any time, but to think that he wasn't going to be arraigned and charged is ridiculous. He was implicated.
And I will say this. What's his name? Briggs, Alvin Briggs, that the DA there in
Brad, Briggs.
Braggs or something like that. He's a scapegoat. Okay, let me just say that he's a scapegoat. The Democratic Party is using. This is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. They're using him to bring down Trump, to tarnish Trump. Because my thing is, out of all the things that Trump could have been charged with, buying some tail, that's what he's, a pan is at the top. That's what I have a problem with. And so the black, because all three of the prosecutors, Atlanta, New York, and I think another one in New York, they're all black. And so y'all allowing the Democrats,
black and a Jew, black and a Jewish attorney,
right? Well, so it's three of them that I know are black. Letitia James, and then the other one that's in Georgia somewhere, I believe it is. But I'm not convinced that is not political, because I watched a press conference today with Jean Pierre, whatever her name is, Jean Pierre, and they kept trying to ask her about it. She's like, "Well, we don't have anything. The president doesn't have anything to say. This is an ongoing legal matter. That's the outside of what we just like." Stop, sis. Y'all know damn well this is a political witch hunt. Because like one of the reporters said, he said y'all was very boisterous about the January 6th insurrection, but now y'all ain't got nothing to say, which also makes me believe it is a political thing. But these three black people are being used and put up on a pedestal. To me, it is also in the same vein or same effect of Christopher Darden. As he was put up to go after OJ, him and Marsha Clark, and they end up, having an affair. And all
there's always gonna be one that's gonna be willing to sell their soul. But let's look at this real quick.
Let me finish.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So you got all these people, these black people, they put up to be the hero, if you will, of the Democratic Party. But we've seen time and time again how these black people that are put up to do the bidding of white supremacy, how they end up. I think Christopher Darden now is like a drunk or something.
Good point. And you see them jumping ship. Sheila Jackson Lee, Karen Bass. They're trying to get what's her name to become the senator here in California. Barbara Lee. They're just jumping ship left and right and left. Who was that black dude from Louisiana that was a senior advisor? He jumped ship. Your girl Simone Sanders jumped ship because the Biden administration, just like he told those Negroes when he won the nomination. Y'all, I've done more for civil rights than anybody. Y'all niggas will get in line. But speaking of my man Trump, let's be real about it. Now, Trump is a good marketing type person. I'll give him that. He knows how to market himself and his brand. Now, remember in the Rolling Stone cover, he did an article there. He had his gold chain on and he was like with the rappers. He's always with Kanye and stuff like this. Trump's got street cred now. You can't say he ain't gangster. He has got street cred. So when this is all over, he could go down there, be on the cover of a rapper's album and make money. Money.
But you know what, though? Trump actually gave a lot of the rappers street cred, because how many rappers have rapped about Donald Trump? You know, Let Me In, you know, Donald, Nelly, and I mean, everybody you can think of, for the most part, has rapped about, or, you know, rapped about Donald Trump, being in association. They've been in pictures with him. So Trump actually gave them street cred, or, you know, made them a little bit more hood, because at one point in time, Donald Trump was the standard of, you've made it, right? Like, if I could just be in the same room with the likes of Donald Trump, who has the gold toilets, then I can have time to say I've made it. I've reached some success. Even if a lot of those rappers did not have the money, they can at least say I was in the same room with Trump. So the point that I'm making is, Trump didn't need them for street cred. He's already got this. He's giving them validity.
Right. As a matter of fact, there's a song on the Pandemonium album by The Time. There's a song written by Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and all those guys, and it's called Donald Trump Black Version. And they're talking about Donald Trump and his wealth, and you know how you want to aspire to be like that.
Yeah. So everybody would, you know, Trump was in movies and video. So them coming and brush with him was actually helping their brand or raising their real estate. And so I will say this, I've been on TikTok a little bit, and I've seen a lot of Black men saying that we stand for Trump, or Black people saying blacks for Trump, you know, and that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, what's really going on here? Are we seeing more of a movement to that of the I don't even want to say the GOP necessarily, but to that of Trump, because the assumption is that he would still try to run. So I think actually the Democrats, and I know they're trying to disassociate themselves from it, but we know it's them. I think they really stepped in at this time.
Yeah, and you know what's really crazy? He could be in prison right now and win the presidency, and he will still be the president. But here you are with a job application, and you put in that you got a traffic ticket, and they disqualify you from a job. But there are some municipalities and stuff where you could be the mayor, you could be the CFO of the city, and you can hold that job with felonies. You know, you're ex-felon. As you know, we had an ex-felon here that was a bank robber that became a council member. But let you put on your application, when I was younger, I, was, involved in whatever. You're disqualified from a job. It's lunacy, and it's crazy how they pick and choose what they want to do to disqualify you. But the highest office in the land, or offices that require due diligence and power and influence, you could be a total felon and you can still occupy that job. But notice, those of us that are regular people, that, when we know we have things in our past, we believe, we actually think, because we don't know the law and we didn't research anything, that we can't run for that office or we can't run for that position. Donald Trump could go to prison right now and win the presidency, and he will be still the president, even though they'll suspend his time or whatever, and he has to run the country. It's lunacy, but this is how a racist apartheid country treats its minority folks. And when I say minority, I'm not talking about black and brown people. I'm talking about the minority in this country is white people.
Donald Trump is the direct beneficiary of white supremacy. The white supremacy has never been broken. It's always doing what it's supposed to do, and that's protect white people, especially white people like Trump, which is why it should also always know that the Democrats and the Republicans, they're the same, two different wings of the same bird. Their job is to protect each other. There's a lot of things they could have got Trump on if they really wanted to. But I mean, and that's the case too. I mean, yeah, I know Clinton, he got in trouble for, playing in somebody else's playground. He got, impeached or whatever, but they didn't indict him. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is. So like I said, if that was the case, I'm sure every president in that White House would have been indicted on buying and paying for or being around somebody else's hoo-ha that was not attached to his wife's.
Yeah, well, actually, he was indicted, but he did a plea deal, and he lost his law license for like a year or so or something like that. So he avoided being criminally charged and did a plea deal, and that's why they asked Trump, his lawyer, if he would do a plea deal. Right now, he's saying he won't do a plea deal. But
yeah, but I'm saying. Yeah. Even with Bill Clinton, he didn't get no 34 damn charges.
Right, exactly. I think he got I think they charged him like six charges or something like that.
Yeah, so whatever he
lying, obstruction, there was all kinds of stuff. But
yeah, whatever he pled to, I'm sure was nothing in comparison to what Donald Trump is being charged with. And I don't know what those charges are now. I'm imagining by now somebody knows something, but since we're on here. All right, so let's get to this next video. It's a gentleman that is giving advice to women. So I am going to play.
Wait a minute. Wait, I sent you a video?
No, I burnt that one up. I put that into the trash file. I marked it as spam.
Yeah. I want to make sure, because I'm always trying to give advice to women and it never works, but I try.
Yeah, I put that in the spam pile. Okay, so here we go.
Here are some simple signs that let you know he's not there into you. So, listen up, because us as men, we're very simple. If we're into you, we into you. If we not, we not. Pay close attention. Number one, if you hear this word often, and that word is busy. Oh, I was busy, this and that. Or he's always saying he's too busy to hang out, link up, whatever. He's not that interested. Number two, he takes forever in a day to respond back or text you back. I mean, he takes forever in a day. He may take 24 hours. He's definitely not that into you. If he puts you as a priority and he really likes you, he's going to text you pretty quickly. Number three, if his body language shows that he's not interested, or when y'all are talking, like he looks away, he looks down at his phone, looks over your shoulder, he's not that interested in you. If he really likes you, he's going to be invested in you.
Donovan, what do you think about what you heard? And I'm also going to ask you, since you're a man, some other indications that a man is not that into you.
I don't disagree with what he said. I mean, because you could reverse that for women as well. I've been with women that, if they're on their phone and stuff and I'm trying to conversate with them, it's obvious her mind is somewhere else, regardless of, oh, I got kids at home or whatever. Because when you're an attentive person, you're an attentive person, you want to spend time with that person. So I really agree with everything that he said there. I really did.
Hold on a second. 1 second. Sorry about that. And my phone never really rings unless I'm doing this. I kid you not.
Of course.
So you say you agree with it? Yeah, I think that's true for anybody. Like you said, number one, if he say he's busy, oh, I didn't call whatever because I got this, that, and the other, blah 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 blah. You're busy. What I do know for a fact is, I don't care how busy you are. You could be juggling hot irons, bowling balls, and a whole set of kitchen knives on top of roller skating at work. But when somebody you really like calls you or texts you, you gonna fit that in, right? You gonna let it all fall. But hell to no, shh. He's calling me. He's texting me. It's like the busy excuse to me is the long, slow, drawn out. I'm just not that into you. You know what I mean? It's the prolongation of what's already to come. If you're not into somebody, I'm going to give you some advice, because there's been people I wasn't into. And in a nice way, I let them know, like, no, I can't go out to dinner with you, or any of that kind of stuff, because you want something I don't. and I don't want to lead you on, right? And so that way you'll already know I'm not into you or whatever the case is. And so now we have a way to gauge kind of a little bit more so that if a person is not into you, because we got text messaging. Donovan, when me and you was coming up, we had a phone at the house with no answer machine. That's how old we are. We remember when we didn't have no answer machine, right? The answer machine was somebody pick it up. Okay, what's your phone number? I'll tell them you called, and you better hope that one of your siblings has some good handwriting, because you just, you know what I mean? So that was the way but you still didn't know. Somebody didn't call you back. Okay, maybe they ain't making home yet. Maybe they didn't get the message. And this is how old we really
or somebody left the phone off the hook, so you can't get the message.
That was the original do not disturb. Leave the phone off the hook. Or, you know, we remember time when there was no call waiting, somebody else on the phone. Y'all remember having to do emergency breakthroughs? I had to do emergency breakthrough on my baby daddy a couple times. I was like, if you don't get your, that operator would call and he'd call me and says, what? Why are you doing these emergency breakthroughs? Because I know you on the phone with another woman. But anyway, so the busy thing, guys, don't do that to people. Don't do that to people. If you don't want to interact or you're not into that person, just say that. Because it's an insult to say, oh, I was busy. Because what happens is, too, y'all can see I'm sweating like I don't know what. But when you tell somebody I'm busy, oh, okay, I got time right now. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to call you in a couple minutes. You know what you do? You give them false hope. That I'm busy excuse is like the carrot dangling in front of them. Okay, all right. So it's not that they not into me. It's just that they was busy. They was doing something. You know what I mean? So it's that false hope type of thing. And instead of just saying, you know, maybe in another time, but right now I'm just not, you know, it's not, this relationship is not something I see on my bingo card. You know what I mean? Whatever. And as far as to taking too long to text back, now that one, to me, I'm on the fence with the texting. Because again, you text back immediately who you're really into. Now, I will tell you, for me, my phone is not very busy. I keep it honest with you. I don't get a lot of people texting me or calling me. My phone is very dry, as some people would say. But sometimes if people are calling me and texting me, it's really because I'm doing something or I'm going to take it the next step further. I don't text you back. It's probably because I didn't see it. I don't always have my phone like strapped to me, you know. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I'm asleep. Or maybe I just don't feel like texting. Maybe I'm tired. And none of those things I don't think are owed an explanation. But again, if somebody you're courting, you're talking to, and you're really into them, you're going to text them back. Whether it's, hey, baby, let me get back to you. I'm doing something. I really miss you. I love you. Whatever. And then the body language, yeah, I think that's a given. You can tell if somebody's into you, is like, sup? Yeah, okay. And like you said, Donovan, somebody on their phone, you know. Now that's one thing I don't understand how, and I haven't been out on a date in a long time, but I don't understand how anybody sits across from the table with somebody and they on the phone. Because had that been me, I'd be like, you know what? If you want, I'm waitress, can we get a to-go bag? And then they say, what's wrong? Well, clearly you want to be somewhere else, so I can get my stuff to go. But I'm not. I think more of myself than be sitting here across the table and you on your phone texting and doing all the other stuff. Cause see, like me, when I'm hanging out with somebody, I don't pick up my phone. If I go to a concert, I'm not filming, and I'm in the moment, right? So if we're on a date and we can't even be in a moment together, then yeah, I'm gonna ask for a doggy bag and I'm gonna take it. Let's go. Good. So you can go do what you need to do without being rude to me.
Yeah, you know, and it's crazy that you bring that up, because the art of courting and really getting to know somebody, you know, and unfortunately, because of the technology, the way we got things, I will be with women that are my age, if not even older. And, you know, okay, I know they got grandkids and stuff like that. You know that, but that isn't a priority for them. Those grandkids got parents. And you'll be on a date with them and you're trying to get to know them. The phone is already a distraction as it is. But if I'm going to go on a date with somebody, I turn my phone to silent, put it on vibrate, put it in my pocket or something like that. And I just I really try to concentrate on the time that I'm with that person to get the questions out or ask. But I'll be with some women, and you ladies know you do this. Yeah. And you're just on your phone looking at your likes on Instagram and all that other stuff. And I tell guys this, especially the young guys, when you're dealing with a woman and she has 1,000 pictures of herself on Instagram and she keeps looking at herself, you might not want to go down that road. You might not want to go down that road with that particular female. I'm not saying all women are like that, but when somebody can't get enough of looking at themselves, you're dealing with an early stage of narcissism.
Well, yeah, but the other thing too is I think we need to call it what it is. People pay attention to what they're interested in. It's just a fact. And I think we've all been in a situation where somebody really wasn't that into us or that interested, but I think it's up to you. You had a date with a woman and she on her phone talking about and she liking and scrolling. I'd be like, hell to the mother effing no. Give us a to-go, plates, boxes, something. And I would be very demonstrative. I'd be nice because I'm a lady. But I would be like, oh no, what we not going to do, sir, good sir, is disrespect me. Now, clearly there's something else. I don't care whether it's another woman or it's work or whatever. I don't care if you're just scrolling up and down. That's more interesting than I am, which I don't know how that could be. You see how good I'm looking. But since you are that interested in whatever it is you're doing, I would that we just end this date. That would just be me. I'm not going to sit up and try to draw a conversation out of somebody. So tell me what you think about the women. Oh, nah, because I'm one of those people. I'm easy to have a conversation with. Some people say, well, I've only had like one or two people say I talk a lot, and I really don't, but I just be having a lot to say. And Donovan, even when we hang out, I'm not all up on my phone. What? You know what I'm saying? All the time I'm on my phone, I'm on my phone, and maybe because I'm looking for something, or we're discussing something like that, but it's just far as me just
or you're trying to debunk me and you go to the facts.
You know what I'm saying? See, I'm one of those people. I use my phone for work probably 90% of the time. I don't use my phone for a lot of, kicks and giggles. And of course, for work, I have to look for stories and stuff, but I'm not really attached to my phone like I used to be. So I couldn't see, especially at my age, I'll be 52 soon, but at my age, I couldn't imagine sitting across the table with a man and he on his phone or anywhere. I would personally be insulted to the point of getting my stuff and be like, when you serious about paying attention to me? But see, in that case too, I probably wouldn't give him another chance because clearly you ain't interested. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna beg you to be interested. I'm not gonna ask you why you're not interested. I'm to the point where I wouldn't even care. I'm gonna go be with somebody that's more interesting, or I'm gonna take myself home and rewatch again a copious amount of episodes of Sex and the City.
Right. I just want to drop this gem right here too. Fellas, do not fall for this. Women do this all the time, especially when she's not into you. She'll tell her girlfriend, okay, girl, I'm gonna go on this date. And I'm not saying all women do this, but Demetra, you're probably familiar with this game from one of your girlfriends or something like that. Girl, I'm gonna go on this date with this guy. If there's nothing there, I need you to call me in like 30 minutes. Right? Right. And let's say she's not into you, and then 30 minutes call and she'll say, oh, something came up, it's an emergency. And that's how they bail out on you. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but and I could get when women do that when there's nothing there, you're saving time. Yeah, bail out. But fellas, notice that they bail out after they've ordered the meal to go.
Yeah, some people do. Like, I'm bored, the girls got to eat. I'm just not one of those women. Because I'm one of those people, if I don't like you, and not to say that I hate you, but if I'm not into you, I'm probably not going to want to spend time with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of those people that just by nature, I'm a homebody type of person. So in order for me to really go out and stuff, I have to have a level of comfortability with you. I got to be comfortable. I got to be able to have a conversation. And so I'm not one of those women that's just like, well, shoot, I ain't doing nothing else. Let me go on and give me something to eat on his pockets. I can feed myself, type of thing. And that's why I said I'm not big on people stringing people along, because we've all had it done to us at one point in time. And then you turn around and do it to other people. But like I tell a lot of you men, y'all like to talk to these younger women. Okay, y'all do. Let's just keep it real. I'm not shaming you. You like to talk to the younger women.
Gravity hasn't hit him yet. Go ahead.
Well, it ain't even that. It's not even that. It's y'all talk to these younger women. Okay. Their form of communication is what? Texting. Just like when we was little, it was a bird with a note on his foot. Okay.
Or no, remember when check lines really took off for us? We had the little pages.
Yeah. Or we strained two cans together. That was our form of communication. But now they got texting. So to a lot of them, that's how they communicate, through texting. So I hear a lot of men lamenting, well, what does it mean if a woman don't text you right back? Or what happens is, it's like she ain't that age. Maybe she's not that into you. Maybe you're boring. You know what I mean? Maybe she don't want to, like, these are some hard truths that we really need to come to terms with. Like, a lot of times we get insulted. Oh, a person ain't text me back. Oh, they ain't answering my call. Have you really just said to yourself, maybe I'm boring to her? Maybe he's just not that into me. Maybe he doesn't like my conversation. You know what I mean? It could be that. And guess what? People are allowed to feel that way about you. Because a lot of times we walk around earth thinking I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, I'm all of that. Who wouldn't want to talk to me? Well, believe it or not, there's a lot of people who don't want to talk to you. A lot of people, you don't float their boat. A lot of people are like, I could have had a V8. I mean, he's whatever. He's meh. He's not terrible, but he's not awesome. Not enough for me to want to text him right back, or whatever the case is. So I think when you get those vibes from people, stop giving them the opportunity to continue stringing you along. You need to know when you've had enough. All right. And this is my third time texting and not getting a text back for 2 days or whatever the case is. I'm pretty sure he got the text. He just don't want to talk to me. Next. Now, those type of people too, when you do cut them off or you don't talk back to them, sometimes you'll have people say, hey, big head, ain't heard from you in a while. That's still up to you. Do you leave them on red or do you oblige them? Now, somebody doing that to me, I'm probably going to keep it pushing. I don't need you to validate nothing about me. There's other people out there who would love to have a conversation with me. So.
Well, my personal thing, and I admit it as a guy, when you see this girl that is like super fine, or let's say you happen to be able to get it slide into some star's DM and she's a fine chick, whatever, you're absolutely right. We're going to stop what we're doing. We could be in the middle of just, oh, it's her. Oh, it's her. And we're going to text her back. Hey, how you doing? Hey, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to take a break right now and talk to you, whatever it is. And men will do that. I admit, we will do that, especially if we really want to get with her. But, when you're talking about these girls that come back and do the get back, I noticed that girls that weren't into me at the time, they kind of, and I'm still, I'll be nice to you and be cordial and stuff. It ain't like, we were in a love affair and we just hate each other or something like that. But, I'm on social media, not like, I don't do TikTok. I'm on it, but I don't do it. I have the app and stuff. But the other ones I'm on, and like some of my friends that I might have dated or whatever might see me. And there's this one girl that saw me and she's seeing how I've been moving. Right. And, out of the blue, she just like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, what's going on? Whatever it is. She goes, yeah, I saw you were over. Yeah, I was over there. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go over here and do this and do that, whatever it is. And she's like, oh, wow, we need to get together. Next time you're in town, whatever it is. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. If I'm in the thing. And for me, I've noticed that when you're not really studying them like that, because I'm one of those people, I don't look back. I always move forward. The opportunity was there. It didn't hit off. Let's just keep moving, and whatever you were desiring then, handle that or whatever you're doing. And some of these women are just gorgeous women. And a good example would be your sister. Now, we were in high school. The thing is, that was high school. Now I'm a grown man. Wait. What was that song? I remember. Does she love me? Does she want to be with me? You gonna call me like you said you would?
Whenever
I call your name, girl.
Yes.
Rich, your brother-in-law, Bobby DeBarge, on lead vocal.
Yes.
and we're older now, whatever the deal is. But and I say this all the time. People think I'm joking. If I had a chance to, and it's true. When your sister posts something on my timeline or something, I try to answer that immediately. What's you doing?
That person that you crushing on and you like, is like you tell your ass to try to respond to the text. I ain't respond fast enough. I don't want to make them think I don't like them.
But I always tell people with her and with yourself and stuff like that, who knew she was going to be this big monster type chick? And when I say big monster, that's like a negative. That's like a monster, like as in, woo! That's a woman, fellas. I'm talking about this as a woman, and she's single, smart. I mean, the total package of a woman. And this is what I don't understand. You got this total package of a woman, and I'm sure she gets a lot of dates because she's a very attractive woman. But it just makes you wonder, like, why wasn't that scooped up when it should have been scooped up?
It was scooped up, but she
didn't act right.
My sister's like me, a rider. Like, we ride out for these dudes. When I tell you, the men be better off. I mean, just like cooking, making sure you good. Like you don't want for nothing, and that could be the problem. I don't know, But the other thing is, the last serious relationship she was in they were together for a long time. They met in like 91 they met. Right around the time that I met my daughter's father. He was a Marine as well. That right there was the love of her life. I really think it was. He's passed on now. But so she was in school. She went to Grambling State, was in school, and they kind of got disconnected. Then they met back up after she got out of school. He's from Jacksonville, and my family's from Jacksonville. So she went to live with my grandparents. She just wanted to get away from, and start afresh. And so he happened to be there. And he's like, yeah. Come on. We're going to be together and all this other stuff. Well, she gets there and he's married. He doesn't tell her she's married or he's married. So she's devastated or whatever. So she's like, fine, whatever, because my sister don't have a problem getting no man. So she goes through some relationships and things like that. And he was working at TSA at Jacksonville Airport. So she was coming back from California and he happened to be working TSA. And they got into a conversation and he was like, oh, I'm divorced now, blah, blah, blah. Can we give it a chance? And she did. And they were together for, probably 10 years or so, in that time frame. Now, like I said, my sister, when he was down and doing bad, TSA wasn't paying that much money, right out of the military, wasn't getting his benefits and that kind of stuff. He wasn't doing that well. Had 2 children. But my sister was a writer. When she would come to California, she'd pay for all of them to come, and our family would take a trip to Vegas every year. He'd be there with the children. They go on cruises, and then he came up, became a police officer for Jacksonville, whatever sheriff's department. He was doing well for himself. Okay. Well, one day, this is back in the day. Now, this is just when text messaging was first like a thing. Now, back in the day when you text a bunch of people a picture or something, like you could do it now. I forget how it was then. So he thought he was texting his thing to just the women individually. But somehow all the women's number came up. I forget how it happened and the way it was back then. So one of the women called my sister. Was like, who are you? And my sister was like, what? She's like, I just got he sent out the D picture to me, and I see that your name, your number, and a couple of other women's numbers on it too, or numbers. So they both looked, and it was like 5 other women involved in this text message. So they talked and all this other stuff, and my sister obviously was with him the longest, some 6 months, some 2 years, and so it was like 5 of them. My sister was just devastated. When I say she was devastated, because like, oh my God, not 1, but 50. Was 5, but it might as well have been 50, right? So they kind of had their issues and they stayed together, but it was very rocky. And from that point, my sister, she had a schism in regards to how she see relationships. You know what I mean? And I tell you, my sister was down like 4 flats for him. She loved him. When I say she loved him, and we our whole family, we would go on vacations together, Hawaii, just you name it, we was all hanging out. And even when he died, he had another girlfriend. They weren't together. He died. He had the flu, is what happened to him, and he died of sepsis. Didn't get to the hospital on time. But even when he died, my sister was in charge of his funeral arrangements, making sure this was done, the repast, everything. He's a Muslim, believe it or not. So, she was making sure that his final wishes was taken care of because they wanted to bury him a certain way. But she's like, no, he's a Muslim. So he has to be, there's a certain protocol with burying Muslims. So she was in control of all of that, she was by that man's side even in death. My sister made sure everything was, his children's mom came and stayed with her because they were close and stuff. So she was just really a good person in that. And so my sister's not rare. There's a lot of sisters like me that would love a man like nobody's business. And I say love him, he won't want for nothing. He gonna be better off, and then get kicked square off in your behind. So yeah, it does do something to you. It does make you, as you would say, kind of like a monster. I know I'm fine. I know I can have a man. My sister has told dudes, nope, let's just keep it the way it is. Don't commit to me. I'm not gonna commit to you because I know the nature of men. Y'all not faithful. Don't tell me you're gonna be faithful and you're not. So what you do is what you do, and what I do is what I do.
See, and I'm all cool with that. I'm trying to get into the rotation.
Well, I ain't saying a rotation, but she just more or less like, let's not lie to each other. I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? So when we hang out, we hang out.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, every time she comes to California, we either go to lunch or dinner and take it from there, from the point that I'm gonna wear her down. She might be 80, but I'll get it eventually.
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. I mean, shut up, Demetra. Shut up. Your daddy might be watching this. Don't say nothing nasty. But yeah, anyway, y'all.
Yeah, and that's another thing about dad. See, I'm fit to walk among men. So I'm in with pops.
Right. Yeah, my daddy, he big on you being fit to walk amongst men. Yeah, my daddy ain't with that silly stuff, especially for his girls. So, to hear that kind of stuff, I don't know. Like I said, y'all, I know y'all men talk about where the good women at, but I always tell y'all, we are here. We just ain't in the market no more. We watching all y'all in them dating streets, getting bumps and bruises and dealing with each other. That's what we watching. We sipping, we cute, got us a little foxy flossy drink, and we just
watching us lose our money, lose half everything we work for, child support issues, all kinds of stuff in our 50s. I got buddies that are still paying child support for children that are 5, 7 years old. I'm like, what were you thinking?
They wasn't. They little man was thinking. You know what I mean? That's what. And so we watching. We sitting on the sidelines watching y'all do it. Get, like you said, 500 years old, trying to be with the teenagers, 20-year-olds, and y'all getting them pregnant. Talking about, I don't want to pay no child. Like, there was one guy I was not talking to, but having a conversation, talking about, some younger woman who's still able to produce. She want to have kids, and he don't. And I'm like, well, if you jump in the bed with her, there's a big possibility that you could be having kids. Talking about, I'm scared of child support. I'm like, well, why you scared of child support, but you ain't scared of jumping up in her stuff with no protection. And the best way to protect yourself is not to be with somebody you don't want to pay child support to. Listen, if I was a 50-something-year-old man, I wouldn't be wanting to pay no child support for the next 18 years either. Shit, that's like beyond the grave for a lot of people. So but there's a lot of fools out there. Damn, she fine. I couldn't say no. And now you can't say no to the child support office either. So do it what you will. So that kind of went into our whole little, if I only knew, Donovan having some regrets. If I only knew your sister was going to be this fine.
She's gonna be that fine. Damn.
If I only knew. Yeah.
Damn.
It happens. You know, you win some, you lose some.
But guess what? I'm a persistent man. I can be patient. I'll wait.
Keep hope alive, brother. Keep hope alive. So anyway, we love and appreciate y'all very much. We're going to go and see what happened with Trump. I'm sure you guys will know by now, but we'll be back on Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. Thank you, everybody, for all that you do for the show, whether you like, subscribe, a member, you donate, or whatever it is. We thank you so much. So we will see y'all later. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.